sometimes being logical can make you insensitive.
Yes.
You don't know when you have lost that feelings
yeah,
completely. So at that time, I think Charlie came into my life, and it taught me that you can go through the emotion and just observe it.
777 ചാർലി എന്ന സിനിമയിലെ കേന്ദ്ര കഥാപാത്രത്തെ അവതരിപ്പിച്ച രക്ഷിത് ഷെട്ടിയാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മളോടൊപ്പം ദ ക്യൂവിലുള്ളത്. വെൽക്കം സർ.
Hi.
You have said before that box office number is not what you're looking for when you're doing a film, because the most important thing for you is that it should be a good film, and it should be a good story. So is that why the reason you decided to produce and act in this Charlie movie?
So when I'm acting, the box office result doesn't matter. When I'm producing, it definitely does, because ultimately, the minimum thing is at least you should recover what you have spent. Yeah. So, but luckily for me, I've done enough films, and I've created enough market for myself that where I know that so much if I spend, so I can recover definitely. So I'm out of that tension now that will I recover the money. But otherwise, also today there's enough podiums where you can show your film.
Yes.
That recovering the money is not a big deal. It's not like before. 10 years back, you should think 100 times before producing the film. Now it is not like that. Even if I produce a newcomer film from my studio, I know that I'll recover the money what I'm investing. But even otherwise, as an artist, I think I don't think about the box office too much. How it matters to me in a way where for example, like tomorrow I want to do a film called Richard Anthony, and I need certain kind of a budget for that kind of a film when I'm doing a big budget film. So in that, when I look at that time, my previous film box office result does matter, because for me to invest or somebody else to invest on that kind of a film, they need to see that okay, this is minimum guaranteed
from you or
me. So that way it matters to me. But otherwise, if you tell me that irrespective of your box office result, still you can make whatever film you want to do, at that time probably it doesn't matter.
So Kiran Raj is a debut filmmaker. So how did you guys met, and how he narrated you this story to you?
So Kiran Raj has worked with me even before as an assistant director.
In Kirik Party.
In Kirik Party, as well as before that also there was a film called Ricky.
Okay.
So there also that was his first film with us. And then in Kirik Party he was one of the 7 odds. So while writing also he was there with us, and he worked as an assistant director, and probably he's one of the best assistant directors I've ever seen, I've ever worked with. That dedicated. So as soon as he told that he has a script, as soon as I heard it, I knew that I'm going to produce this film for sure. I have not seen a director who is as passionate or as dedicated as this guy. His little madness. I mean, to do a film like Charlie, probably that madness is required. Because to capture that kind of an emotion from Charlie, I mean, capturing it from an actor, you can always tell them, no, I want this. You can mold them somehow. But you can't mold a dog. So that guy, as far as I remember, he used to go for the Charlie's training every day. He used to look at her, and whenever the trainer is to train the dog, he used to look at the emotions what he can capture there, and then he used to come to the set and tell that
when you do that
she gave that emotion. I want that emotion. Now you can't expect that to give from a dog. You can't expect that, right? But this guy is to I have seen it once, so I'll get it once again. So it was that kind of a dedication which was required for the kind of emotions to be captured in the film.
Yes. So when it comes to the film, I think you are the second character. Main character is Charlie.
Charlie.
So how was that experience working with her? Because she is pretty much your co-actor. She is acting like that only. So how was that experience?
I mean, it was the first lifetime experience for me because, see, I've shot a film for 200 days also. Like ASN was shot for 200 days because the kind of scale it was, things like that. And we had to finish the film in certain budget. So, we had to shoot for 200 days. But this 200, this also we have shot for 198 days. But this is very different from that,
that
200 days. Because this is like, there you are constantly working for our output. Here it is like, you are patiently waiting. You're patiently waiting for our output. I mean, obviously Kiran Raj is working, all the whole team is working. But me as an actor, I have never given in any film, not even one take which has gone more than like 5 takes or 6 takes. It's all normally it gets done by 5-6 takes unless there is a technical fault. But for this film, every take was minimum 20 takes, and we have gone to 40-60 takes also. And you don't know when Charlie will perform. Because she is basically doing it for the food, what she's doing, and for every take I had to hide food here, sometimes inside my mouth, sometimes inside I should keep it everywhere so that she doesn't know where the food is, because otherwise her attention will be there.
Yes.
But she knows if she does something, she'll get the food. And there are takes when she wouldn't look at my face, she would look at my hand, because she knows that the food is in the hand. So I used to keep it in my mouth and then perform. And I have to give my best in every take, because you don't know when she will perform. If she performs, the take is okay. So I'm always scared that what if she performs? As soon as I go wrong, I'm scared that what if she performing well. So I had to be alert all the time. And keeping the food in the mouth and acting is also not easy. Or keeping food in between your fingers and acting also is not easy, because your concentration is on both the sides. You are making the dog also perform, and at the same time you are also performing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the one thing you must have learned from this film is patience. Right?
Definitely, I am in a way I'm a very patient guy. I can I think I can wait. It's not a problem at all. But this film has tested my patience to the next level. So after the film, Kiran Raj came and asked me that I have a plan for part 2. So you're like, you have a plan for part 2. I don't have. So you do Charlie, but not Dharma. Dharma won't be there. So you can take one more character. Arjuna you can take and do it to Charlie.
Okay. So when yesterday Kiran Raj was saying that it took almost 2 years to train Charlie, and then 1 year to train Charlie with you. So it took to have that emotional connect, and in almost every scene, she's hugging you, she's waking you up in the morning. So how was that training period? Because
to be frank, the bonding happened not during the training period, because training period was really hectic. In the sense, she's trained by a trainer, and now she has to listen to my commands. Yes. What the trainer is to make her do, now she has to. I have to make her do it. So that was a little, a difficult job for me, because one thing, see, while shooting you are enjoying basically, because that is what you want to do. But training is not something which you are signed for, when you want to be an actor. Yeah. So every day it was like, okay, this is not shoot, this is, so I used to go like that. But with Charlie, somehow I used to, get along and enjoy it to a certain level. But during shoot, it was, because we have trained so well, it made a lot of things easy during the shoot.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was hectic only. I mean, the training was more hectic than the shoot, because shoot you can expect that even if you're going for 40 takes, you're mentally prepared for it.
We know that already. It's going to take.
But training is not something which you sign for. So.
Yeah, but you are also the producer.
I am also. So to save money there, you have to do some things here.
Okay, so you have in most of your films there has always been a fight scene, and you have acted as an angry young man and all. In this film also, you are someone who suppress emotion a lot. Dharma, the character, but when Charlie comes along, he's changing. But the fun thing I noticed that there is no fight scenes and a lot of other other kind of track going on.
Correct.
It is only about you and Charlie.
Correct.
So, and also even there was one fight scene, it was only shown in her perspective.
Correct.
So how was that experience? Not doing the fight sequence and all. And
I was only in ASN had done fight scenes. So most of my films don't have like
huge
fight scenes like this.
Yeah.
I mean fight scenes like what you normally see in other, bigger films. Kirik Party had a little bit of fight scenes. ASN had good stylistic fight scenes and all. But in this film, obviously, the script never demanded that kind of a scene.
Yeah.
So, but the character demanded because Dharma being an introvert, Dharma being the kind of character he is, he demanded a little bit of fights in his life at least. So, but I think Kiran was very particular that we are not going to shoot the fight scenes like other films because the film doesn't demand it. The film is a very emotional roller coaster ride, and also there can be fun, but fights might spoil the mood of the film. Yeah, so we decided that even if we show the fight, we won't show it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of emotional track on the film. So when I saw the film, I felt really emotional. I almost cried. So how was to you when you were shooting those scenes, especially the climax and all? So was your have you ever felt like emotional and all in this?
I see. To be frank, if you ask me, Charlie is I am a very logical guy.
Yeah.
So I believe that or at least Charlie has taught me something about emotions. All my life I have been very very logical, and whenever I thought that I don't need to go through this emotion, I have blocked it and I have moved forward because I have always thought, okay, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to where I want to travel. So this emotion right now is not required for me. Or 5 years down the line, I'll be laughing at this incident. Why should I go through the incident right now? So I have been always a logical guy, and but sometimes being logical can make you insensitive.
Yes.
You don't know when you have lost that feelings completely. So at that time, I think Charlie came into my life, and it taught me that you can go through an emotion by not suffering. You don't have to suffer the emotion, but you can go through the emotion and just observe it. So I think Charlie gave me that perspective when I was going through the film, because in the film, as an actor, when you perform a scene, you're basically not suffering, but you are crying, you are going through the emotion, but you're not suffering inside, because ultimately you know that you're acting. So can that be adopted in your life, where somebody hurt you, you observe the emotion, you feel the pain. If you want, you can cry also, but you don't have to suffer. When you suffer, you suffer when you keep thinking about it. That is suffering. Basically, suffering is here. But emotions can be beautiful, even if it is pain, if you don't suffer. So
she taught you that.
She taught me that, and also the film taught me that in many ways.
So Dharma and you both have changed, you're saying, like the character Dharma and...
I think every film changes me in a certain way. I believe that every film, when you work on any film, as a person you have to grow. Not just films, anything you do in life, as a person you have to grow. Otherwise there's no point. The idea of life falls down if you don't do it. And for me, cinema is passion. And when I work in cinema, if I don't grow, then there's no point. So which is why every film, definitely in every film I grow in a way, and this film has taught me how to grow emotionally.
Okay. So you are also a director and writer. So have you ever thought of, after doing this film, have you ever thought of directing a movie like this?
Oh, this is not
my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. Not my genre at all. I can say my genre, but not my cup of tea. I mean, because that kind of that is something else. I think a person who has gone through life which Kiran Raj, the director, has gone through, only that kind of a person can direct a film like this.
Why would you say that?
Oh, because you should ask his,
Story.
his story.
Okay.
He finished his 10th standard in Kasargod. After that, he came to Mangalore and he worked as a waiter for many years.
Okay.
There he had a lot of experience in terms of he has had some people have insulted him. I mean, when you're working as a waiter, it's not in a bar, especially when people are drunk and the way they can insult you. And he has worked as a watchman for next few more years, and he has worked as a salesman for few more years, and he has seen life which I have not seen. And to write something like this, to get these kind of emotions on screen, I think unless you see that kind of a life, you can't do it.
Yes. Okay. So you have associated with Prithviraj sir and also Rana Daggubati and Karthik Subraj. So how did you decided, like, okay, I want to associate with this person in this language and this person in this language? So what is your relationship with all three of these people?
Since the film got ready and I watched the film, I was very clear about one thing, that whomever I associate with has to believe in this product.
Yeah.
Because the main reason why we are going pan-India with this film is the dog is relatable.
Yes.
People might not know me at certain, like not everybody knows me.
Okay.
For example, in Kerala there might be few cinema goers who would have watched my films, but not everyone. But dog, everybody connects to. He's a star already. She's a star already.
Yes.
I had that thing in mind, and so anybody who watches, because it's an emotional film, who connects to the film and carries the film on his shoulders. It's not that, so you want me to release this film, I'll release it for you. I didn't want that, and I had done that mistake in ASN. So I was very clear with Kiran Raj also that we'll show the film. If they like it, then let them release it. Otherwise, we'll find someone else. Was the idea.
Yeah.
When we started with I think Karthik Subraj was the first one who came on board.
Okay.
Because I knew him for a long time, and when I showed the film, he was like, why I will only present it here. So I was like, okay, fine. He's watched the film, he's liked it, and he'll present it. So in Kerala, we were still seeing who will present the film. And when our Raja Krishnan sir, who was the sound designer of the film, who was doing the sound design for the film, when he watched it, he was like, we'll approach Prithviraj. And I was like, he's the best option we can have. So we had a 15 minutes showreel. And we showed the showreel, we sent the showreel to him. He watched the showreel. As soon as he watched the showreel, he immediately told Raja Krishnan sir that, this is, I want to get associated with this film. And he, personally messaged me. He personally messaged Kiran Raj and said that, this is a wonderful film. And it was a boon in disguise for us. So like, and the kind of support he has been giving us when it comes to Kerala release, he and his team, the whole team, it's wonderful. We are very happy. We are, I have a belief that when there's a good energy around the film will take what it wants on its own. And I think the film itself took what it wanted.
So how excited are you with the releasing date? Is it's releasing on June 10th, right? So are you going to watch it in the theaters with audience?
Of course. I would want to watch it.
Charlie is also going to help.
The best thing about Charlie is she doesn't even care. It's us humans who want to make all this and
make it big,
things like that. She doesn't care. She was born for this, I believe. She's a performer. She's an artist. Next life probably she'll be a better. She'll be an actress for sure.
So now I have some questions apart from this movie. So in an interview you said when you did your first movie as a writer, you were so innocent that you didn't even know the proper structure of writing the script. But now you have done so much. You have directed and written a lot of scripts, and you have evolved over the years. So where are you right now as a director and a writer?
So when I say that I was innocent, when I wrote Ulidaru Kannante,
Yeah.
I didn't care how audience will take this.
Okay.
I just wanted to write. I wanted
to do like out of, yeah.
So what I know, I just wrote what I know, and that people have made it a cult classic now. I'm very happy about it, but that innocence probably I didn't have while writing. While writing Kirik Party, I wrote it saying I want to do a 50 crore box office collection film because that was required for me so that I can make my next film. So that was the thought when we wrote it. Although it came out of experience because I had done engineering and I had 4 years of engineering life, so the experience was from there. But we were very sure that while writing every scene, we need to entertain the audience. That was very clearly there in the mind, which was not there during Ulidaru Kannante. When I wrote ASN, I wanted to learn something because I had already written Ulidaru Kannante, Kirik Party kind of subject without knowing structures, nothing. I just knew to tell a story. But I wanted to tell a story now, knowing how exactly to tell a story with knowing the structure. So I read like 10-15 books. I had read 10-15 books before also, but I never understood them. Now I wanted to understand it clearly, compare it with the 2 films which I had written, and then write it. So ASN was more of learning kind of an experience. So in a way, although this is learning, in a way it is corruption also, because the child won't speak to you with logics. But now I have started writing with logics because as soon as you put a structure, it is basically putting logic into the construction of storytelling. So there was a saying which I had written long back. If you go to my social media profiles, you will still find it. I had written that realize the passion, be a child once again, come a full circle. In an ideal world for cinema, be a cinema. So I think with Charlie, I have come a full circle because I want to be a child once again now, and I want to do films in an ideal condition where I think I have created that condition already with my 10 years of experience and with the market what I have created in last 10 years. I have created an environment where I can do films the way I want to without anybody, a producer or
without any other burden.
Anyone coming and telling me, no, change this like this. So I have that liberty now. Now I want to be a child once again and right from here. I know the structure. I have the 10 years experience also. I know what works, what doesn't work. But keeping all that aside, keeping that in the background, in the foreground, I want to write something from here and
from heart again.
So that's the challenge.
Okay, so you have always believed that a movie should have a good script. First, like if the script is good, the other technical aspects, everything can be perfect.
Correct.
So, and you have also said that education about storytelling is very important, because if you know the structure, then it will be easy to break those rules.
Correct.
Because you already know it.
Correct.
So what will be your advice for, now a lot of people are coming to movies, there's a lot of writers, directors. So what will be your one advice that you will give to a newcomer as a director or writer to this industry?
One thing is, I think your first draft always should come from here.
Heart.
From the heart. And then probably read the structure and see where you can make it better. But otherwise, don't keep the structure in mind and write anything. Let the story flow from here. Once your first draft is ready, then probably you can use the structure. And don't be too matured while writing it. You should start a story as a very immature writer. But by the time you freeze the script, you should be matured. So that's what I think.
Okay, so you have done Kirik Party, which is an out-and-out college film, and it is almost like we can relate to it. And there is another movie which is ASN, which is an out-and-out fantasy movie. So you have done both genres. Which one is the most challenging one for you? You have said that ASN was a learning experience for you, but still, which one was most challenging? Which genre you would say?
I think ASN is more challenging Because as soon as it is fantasy, you know, bringing in emotions is not a big deal, but making people connect to that fantasy land.
Yeah.
Because it is your fantasy. It need not be somebody else's fantasy, right? So making them connect to that fantasy land and taking them to that world and making they should also enjoy that fantasy world. So that is definitely a bigger challenge. In fact, Kirik Party was written in, like, you know, we wrote it for 3 months. We wrote it, and another 5-6 months it was ready.
Yeah.
The film was ready.
But ASN you took 3 years, right?
I took 3 years. But obviously, I mean, if I do ASN Part 2, probably I won't take 3 years, because then I had to learn the structure, things like that. Now I don't have to learn, and I have learned from my mistake also. The mistakes what I've done in ASN, I know what worked and what didn't work. And probably if I do ASN 2, it won't take so much time, and probably I can do it better also. Okay. But definitely, a fantasy land is more challenging.
Okay. Are you going to do the second part?
As of now, I don't have a plan, but that character, Narayana character, is something which I like. Yes. And probably I might take that character and put it somewhere else. Okay. In some other world, probably. Let's see.
So you basically, which one will you prefer as a director? Fantasy or realistic movies? Like, for you, what is your favorite? Which one is?
I like a balance of both. Yeah. Probably in Richard Anthony, that is what you will see. Because it's very a realistic story. But again, there is a fantasy also involved in it because it's all about perspectives. Nobody has seen it. Somebody else has told you, and that's what you're telling. So, you know, there's a little bit of fantasy also which comes there.
Okay. So most of your films are very content driven, and you know, Malayalam movies is always known for the best content, and we are always content driven. From so many years. So do you look up to Malayalam movies? And
obviously. I mean, who's not looking up to Malayalam? Tell me. I mean, especially a person like me who gives everything for the content. I think this is the a dream place for a content driven director or a writer. But yeah, let's see. You know, someday probably, you know, even Kannada film industry will have at least 15 directors who are content driven and 15 directors who are commercial films driven. So I think every industry needs to have at least 30 directors.
Balance. So can you tell me, like, one of your favorite or some movies or directors that you watch from Malayalam that you constantly see or something?
The thing is, last 5-6 years I have watched very less films. But I mean, Premam is something which inspired me a lot.
Kirik Party.
So Kirik Party was a subject which I had written long back after my engineering and kept it aside. Okay. It is after watching Premam, I was like, oh,
yes,
I'll take that out and I'll do it. And we were planning to do ASN until then. And then we were in confusion because ASN was taking too much of budget, and at that time none of my films were such a big hit that, you know, we could do ASN. So we were in that confusion, which is when Premam came. So
you got that confidence.
So that is one, and Ayyappan Koshim, and so I'm little bad with names. So I've watched a lot of films like that. I don't. Names is something which, you know, I struggle with.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so, you know, now with KGF and Bahubali, the boundaries of language is almost gone. Especially with KGF, Kannada film industry is out in front of the world right now. So do you see it as a great opportunity, or what is your take on that? You know, there is a lot of opportunities that
the world is moving towards that direction. I think after OTT, we have watched Narcos. We all have watched Crown. We all have watched.
You like Crown?
Oh, I loved it.
I see very few people who like Crown.
No. I have watched it completely. So Peaky Blinders, all this, everybody is watching this because today people are okay even if it is a language which Narcos, though it was, you know, Spanish. even if you don't understand the language,
We are watching it with subtitles.
with subtitles.
Yes.
So the world is moving towards that.
Yeah.
And today, like before, if you do a film in Malayalam, it is released in Kerala.
In Kerala.
And probably other states in
in
a
some
smaller
places.
chunk, probably in metropolitan cities
Yes.
where people still watch other language films, or people who have moved from here will go and watch it. But today, the world is your market. Now,
Yes.
you do a good content. If it is on OTT, if it is a good content, you can reach the world. Any part of the world is ready to watch your content if the content is good. So that is the kind of charge all filmmakers should take now.
Yeah.
Because this
This
time,
is the best time, right? Yeah.
people in 80s didn't have it. People in
Yes.
90s didn't have it.
Yes.
And today, when you have it, probably you should grab it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I believe any film I do from now on, I want to think on not in terms of scale, but the content should be so strong, should be so hatke
Yeah.
that
It should connect with everyone.
everyone, yeah. And there's something has to be different that world has not watched this content before. It has to be that.
Okay, so my final question is about Puneet sir. So you guys had a great relationship, right? He had always appreciated you, and I think you were his fanboy, and you have always looked up to him. So can you tell us about that relationship that you have been with him?
I mean, when we opened Paramba Studios,
He inaugurated.
yeah, he
right?
inaugurated the office, and I mean, he's one guy who probably will talk similarly, irrespective of who he is. If he goes and talks to a tea vendor also, he'll talk to him with the same respect, with the same smiling face. If he talks to the biggest star of other industry also, he'll go with the same respect and same smiling face. And that kind of an attitude comes only when your heart is clean. And he was that for me, someone with a very clean heart, nothing in front and behind, two different things.
Yeah.
All that was not there. And more than an artist, I am as a human being, I'm a huge fan of him, and we all miss him because the kind of films he was producing also, and the kind of films as an actor also he wanted to explore from here on. His next one or two films which he had signed with Pawan Kumar, things like that, was something to look forward to, and probably would have given a lot of support and for right now the Kannada industry where it is growing, that would have added a lot of value to it, and that is something we definitely missed.
Okay. So thank you so much. It was a lovely chat.
Thank you.
And all the best for the Charlie, and all the best for you.
Thank you
There's
so
a lot
much.
of movie coming up. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.